Hey guys, this is Andy. Welcome back to the garden. And today on Get Your Wellies, we are going to talk a little bit about hydrangeas. And I have an issue with this bed that is something that some of you may have come across before, kind of one of those oddities that comes up in the garden every now and again. And I wanted to give you some options on how to deal with that. So join me in the garden. But first of all, as always, get your wellies, meet me in the garden. Well, welcome back to the channel, gardeners. Today we're going to just take a look at these hydrangeas. These are really quite stunning. There's a lot of varieties of hydrangeas, and these are just kind of I don't even remember what specific variety, that these are the pretty common ones you find. So these hydrangeas were actually propagated from a cutting, a single stalk that I put in a grow bag, and this is now their second full year in that grow bag. And as you can see, this bush is quite large. So the thing that's interesting about that, I had initially put this in a grow bag, and I'm going to show you which kind I was using. So I wasn't really expecting this much growth this year, but here's the dilemma. As you can see down here, my hydrangea is still in the grow bag. So this is the grow bag, and this is I want to say this was a 10-gallon grow bag. It could be a bit less, it could be a 7. But anyway, I planted that hibiscus in there, and it grew pretty big in there, and I moved it once. And when I did move it, this was probably after a few months, it tore. I knew I was tearing a bunch of roots at the bottom. All the roots that hit the side of these grow bags just air prune, so they stop growing once they hit this outside, and they won't grow anymore unless you put them in more soil, and then the roots can grow through and continue growing laterally that way. So by the time I saw how big this plant was getting, it came back last year really pretty big, and it was still in the grow bag with nothing around it. And I knew those roots were going to be really deep, and the plant was really pretty, and I did not want to destroy any of that. So I decided just to build this bed, matches my other beds. Those are 10-inch tall boards that are pressure treated, and I just basically just built that bed like I had the others around it, because I wanted it to match and have space to grow. And I did not cut the grow bag or anything like that. I didn't try and cut it off or open it up or anything. I just went ahead and planted everything. So that grow bag, of course, now will end up sitting in pretty moist soil, and will ultimately degrade over the next couple of years, if not sooner. And this plant will have now a lot more room for lateral roots to go out and give it a chance to get even lusher in there. And I'm sure that some folks would not go to that trouble. They would probably just rip the roots up and take their chances on the plant. But this plant came from my mother-in-law's house, so it has a little bit of sentimental value that I was able to continue that plant's growth over here in the Get Your Wellies garden. And so I really wanted to salvage it. So anyway, I just wondered if any of you have had any experience like that, done something similar, or you just pulled it up and moved the whole thing. You know, just let me know in the comments below. I'd be interested. These hydrangeas, you know, they're taking up a fairly good amount of space because they're probably going to commandeer this bed every year. But they are an interesting plant. They're very pretty. They do attract a lot of bees. So I'm going to leave the camera on, but I'm not up. Well, there's a little flash of something down there. So I have had a few questions about this. I'm going to be quick because I know you don't want to just look at this all day. But real quick, a couple of people asked, am I going to put fish in here? Debated that. It was pretty murky looking. And so I decided it might be good to put fish in there and let them help keep it clean and get that symbiotic relationship between fish and plants going. So I did put 2 goldfish and 1 betta in there. However, there have been a couple of other fish just show up. So I'm assuming that they came from the lake, which isn't too far away from here, and a bird dropped them in here. Eggs can come in the digestive system of birds. They can also get caught up on their feet, and if the bird is, you know, around the edge of a pond and picks them up on its feet, that's another way. I've been told they can spread to other areas, but certainly native fish, which around here most likely be some kind of bait fish, is what my son-in-law thinks. We've seen these, but they're pretty hard to see. I don't know if you'll see it on the video. There was one at the very beginning of this clip, but I don't know if it's going to be there or not. We'll have to see when I edit the film. But anyway, so there's fish in here, and we'll keep an eye on those and see how they do. The pitcher plant is coming along nicely. We've got several pitchers, several new leaves coming, so that looks good. The dwarf pampas grass is looking good as well. That had just, I think, 5 or 7 little heads on it when I first got it, and now it's covered in those. Those do perform really well. If you've got a wet spot in your yard, that's a good place for something like that. And the solar panel's in the shade right now, so the fountain's not running, but it runs when it's in full sun. And my bare root is also doing well. It is throwing off that shoot, so I'll probably need to put a pot under there to get another plant out of that. So those are the 2 things I kind of wanted to talk to you about today. So just a quick update. Join me on the next episode of Get Your Wellies as we get into another project or do a garden tour. Things are kind of coming along in the garden, so it might be a good time for that on the next video. But until then, guys, I will see you later, and bye now.